Episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to be recapping episode 5 of the NBC reality competition show Destination X. We are 5 episodes into the season, and we have seen several eliminations throughout the season so far. As of right now, that's too far in. Josh has been eliminated. Ty was eliminated last week. Rachel was eliminated. And of course, Jonah was eliminated as well. Like I do every week, I'm going to break down all the happenings of the episode, and then I'll cap it off with who I believe is in the front runner seat of the show. Of course, we have some new people in the game. Janae and Peter, they're new-ish. You know what I mean? They break into the scene, but they're competing now. And it's time to see what they can bring to the table. Janae has an opening monologue on this episode where she talks about a horror movie and how it breaks down. It was nothing short of incredible. Like the first 5 minutes of this episode, you're like, this is why she's on reality TV. This is why she's on this show. She brings so much to the table. Her personality is unmatched. On the bus, everybody is supposed to pair up with 1 and 2s. You pick somebody, you're 1, they're 2. However, we find out it's flip-flopped. In the ever-changing game that we have here of Destination X, we find out that the people that picked 1s are all on the same team, and people that picked 2s are all on the same team as well. Now, they get to leave the goggles behind and see the things in front of them. So, it's kind of hilarious to watch Peter on the show. I feel like he's always consistently overdressed for what we're bringing to the table. But it's Mac, Biggie, Rick, and Shane versus Peter, Ali, Janae, and Kim. They will be competing to find out which towns they're passing on a train. They have suitcases to match the items to the city where they came from. The winning team will get to see the Destination X clue. This is where we see some very early strategy from Peter. Peter's trying to talk his team, Ali, Janae, and Kim, really just Kim and Ali, into throwing the competition. This kind of causes some issues with Kim, who's just uncertain of things, but making fun of him for not being on reality shows and not being able to find love, to talking about how his strategy sucks, but he's hot, is hilarious. A nice 180 was had here by Kim. She makes me laugh. She does make me laugh. All right. That being said, we're moving on here. Okay. So Mac, to me, very funny. I love her. She's hilarious. She's just the competitor of all competitors here. Biggie mentions that the other team is giving all they got, and they haven't moved up. And Biggie mentions, he says, I really feel like the other team is getting it together, and they're giving all they got out here. And little does he know that this team is doing absolutely nothing but sitting here. They first get 7 of 9 correctly. Of course, Kim gets a clue, and then they let them know whether they don't know if the clue's right or wrong. On the second pass, Rick's team gets 6 of 9 right. In the second round, of course, Kim's team, they get 0 right. Nobody got 9 of 9, meaning that the clue was in fact not given. So obviously it helps Peter and Janae in a way, but they were relying on Rick to win the competition, maybe to really pass on the clues to him, because they have this alliance, and this alliance he's hoping to take them the long way. However, what the clues that he did get, it did help formulate Peter's idea of where they could potentially be. The thing about it is Kim got a clue, but she kept the clue close to her vest because she doesn't trust Peter. Peter asked Ali not to tell Shane about what they planned about throwing the competition, which caused a little ruffling in the feathers, which who knew was going to cause so much problems later. All right, so they are in fact in Germany. Ali and Kim are not thrilled with Peter throwing things and not doing things. She is kind of pissed. Shane complained about Peter trying to get Ali to lie. Stop this. Look, I like Shane, I do, but man, Ali's got this dude wrapped around her finger, dude. Wrapped around her finger. Insane. Insane to me. Like, come on, man. We're playing a competition. We're playing a show. We're trying to win some money. What is it, 250 on the line here? Is it 250,000? I think it's 250,000 on the line here. Come on, man. All right. They will be playing a swapping game. They will, and then whoever lands with the, so they had baskets in front of them. In 3 of the baskets, they had poisonous apples. Those 3 people were going to the map room. 2 people were going to, 2 of the baskets had magical mirrors, and then of course, was it 3 baskets had a thing of cookies inside of them. So each person will open their basket and say what's in this basket. Rick says he has a mirror. Allie says she has cookies. Mac and Biggie both say they have mirrors, which obviously means somebody's lying. Kim and Peter say they have apples. Shane says cookies. Janae says mirror as well. There's only 2 mirrors, but 4 people are saying that they have mirrors. So Mac is chosen to be the first person to say, hey, I'm going to keep my basket. She said she had a mirror and decides to keep her basket. Now, it was interesting to see who's going to go on a limb, try to switch baskets and stuff like that. Shane, who said he had the cookies, decides to keep his basket as well. And to me, that's the strategy. Even if you end up with cookies, you don't have any power, but you also not having to go into the room, right? You know what I mean? Maybe you don't know what this secret power holds in store for you, which you understand that. But at the same time, you're playing strategy here. If you swap baskets, end up with Apple, you could be on the verge of elimination. Janae, she keeps her basket as well. Allie decides to swap with Rick. Peter decided to keep his basket, which he claimed, of course, was an apple. Kim decided to keep hers as 2, which is an apple. I think I thought in that moment she was telling the truth. And then Biggie decided to keep his, and then Rick decided to swap his with Kim, which was hilarious in the long run. So Allie goes first. She took Rick's basket, which actually was an apple, which is hilarious. Biggie said he had a mirror. He opened it up with a cookie and he ate it, obviously. Peter said he had an apple. He had cookies as well. Max said she had a mirror. She did, in fact, have a mirror. Kim had an apple as well, which means Allie lied. Shane had cookies too. Rick and Janae left. Rick got the apple, which she stole from Kim, which I kind of projected whenever I saw her look, her reaction. I feel like she doesn't have a really good poker face. So I felt like she had an apple the entire time, and I thought she was just going to tell the truth. Meaning Janae got the other mirror. Means Rick, Allie, and Kim will be heading to the map room. Janae and Mac head to the wilderness, following these quote-unquote breadcrumbs to see a mirror. We get Heidi Klum to pop up on the screen, and Mac had no clue who Heidi Klum was. And I had busted out laughing watching this scene. I was dying of hysterics here. Janae reveals the clue to Peter, which she's honest about, which is what the clue, and then of course also reveals that they get to pick somebody to be in the room. Mac picks Peter because she thinks that she's a stronger player of him and Janae. Janae picks Shane because she didn't want to be on Biggie's bad side. Let's be completely honest here. We are not surprised that this person's elimination this week was Kim. It was only bound to be time. She was trying to play her own game. And because she's trying to play her own game, you end up on the wrong side of things. You know what I mean? Because of that, that's why she's at. But they're in Frankfurt. She thought they were in Munich. She was completely wrong. Or no, so they were in Munich. She placed her thing in Frankfurt, completely wrong. Now, Shane gets his little panties in a wad here or something like that and says payback. Peter's not having it. Shane's all caught up in this woman, and it's hilarious. Peter's telling him facts and just trying to say, hey, man, it's a game here. We're playing a game. Chill out. And it was just an insane, insane moment. All right. After 5 episodes of Destination X, here are my current top 3 remaining people, right? So, of the remaining people, we have Allie, we have Mac, Peter, Rick, Shane, and Biggie. Okay? Those are her remaining people. Here is my top 3 after 5 episodes. Coming number 3, I have Rick. Rick's alliance that he's built with Peter and Janae really helped elevate him into this game. And I really feel like it's going to take him a long way. And that's the reason why I give him my edge in 3, slightly ahead of Peter. Peter's like right on that cusp, but I gave it to Rick here. Coming in at number 2, I have Janae. I feel like Janae is a lot smarter than people are giving her credit for. I feel like the gameplay is going to be there. I feel like at the time is right, she's going to do some cutthroat action that's going to put her and catapult her into this. I have her locked. I think she's going to finish top 3, period. I have her finishing the top 3. Who do I have her in the top 3 with? Mac. Mac's still my number one. I feel like she's in the driver's seat for this game. Mac and I are just BFFs. She just doesn't know it yet. I think she's a strategic player, and I think she's slightly playing underneath the radar, but at the same time, she's pinpointing the players that she knows that she needs to hone in on and try to get out of this game. That is my top 3. Rick, Janae, and Mac. All right, folks, that is it for this week's episode of the Love and Reality Podcast, breaking down Destination X, episode 5. I'll be back next week breaking down more Destination X.